Test 1, 2.
Sega!
Hello, Galactic Gaming News. My name is Greg, and this week we have the final part of Mickey's Castle of Illusion. With me is my final guest. Please introduce yourself.
I am Trevor. I am the editor-in-chief for the Spider Duck Network.
You're the editor-in-the-chief.
Editor-in-the-chief. I go inside the chief and I stab my way out.
That's what you call editing.
Yes. It's very gory. Lots of blood. Lots of other fluids, but I don't want to get into that. It's kind of weird.
Ugh. Well, you know what else is very gory? Sitting on knights.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I'm sure that night sitting is a very popular thing, especially with the knights that just have so much bad things to do. If only these knights had parents that cared, because obviously they don't. Because Mickey's just running rampant. They're running rampant in the castle. They're throwing stuff at Mickey. It's ridiculous. So what they should do is they should call me up, be like, "Hey Trevor, for $10 an hour, you can come and sit on these knights and make sure that they don't do anything while we go have some dinner." Because this is what happens when they don't have dinner. It just runs rampant. It's ridiculous. And apparently they turn into fireworks when you sit on them. So it's a good time for everybody. So, I mean, you could go out into the neighborhood. It's almost 4th of July. Actually, it's Memorial Day weekend. So we need some fireworks. We get those fireworks going. You know, so just sit on some nights for the neighborhood.
Isn't that dangerous? Sitting on fireworks?
No, man. It's totally safe. Actually, kids, it's not safe, so if you're watching this and you think you should sit on fireworks, don't do it. This is the disclaimer right here. Don't sue us, please.
But if you see knights, you should probably just go ahead
and sit on them.
Yeah. Because
they're a rowdy bunch. And don't get into the way of moving cannons either.
Well, you know, are those cannonballs? They're a little big.
I mean, they're like gigantic cannonballs. I really don't know. This game doesn't make sense. Like, why is Mickey in a castle? I don't know what they're supposed to be, canonically speaking. Like, when has Mickey ever been in, like, a Castlevania-style castle?
Right now.
I mean, I guess that's true. But I don't remember the Mickey Mouse movie where it was like Mickey Mouse versus Dracula. Like, I really don't remember that movie.
Well, there was the Mad Doctor. That, like, black and white short.
That's true. I never thought about that one. That's a good point.
He didn't have all these armored guys hanging around, though. Just, like, throwing the maces that act like boomerangs.
Hey, man, I know that I have a couple maces, and they are very boomerang-like. So,
okay.
That's how I edit things with maces.
But it's also pretty appropriate that this is the Castlevania stage, because you pick up candles for your items.
Well, it seems like it was purposely cribbed from Castlevania. Because they even have some great mer monsters here. As if, you know, a fish with bones sticking out is supposed to be scary. And where did that fish even come from? I just noticed that. Like, you go over, and then the fish just appears. There was no fish over there previously.
So the funny thing is, it's a stealth game. Just when you play it as Mickey, you don't get that.
Okay.
But when you play as the fish, it's yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic. I didn't know you could play as the fish. I mean, I guess they would be called Sam Fisher.
Oh my god. But yeah, you can't play as the fish.
Hey, this wouldn't be a video if there weren't bad puns, guys. So.
I'll give you that. Actually, there are holes in the background where I suppose they could spawn in from.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice that.
I don't know how they stay buoyant, though.
Yeah, they have no innards, no guts. But, I mean, since they have no guts, they'll also get no glory.
I guess that's actually pretty true. Yeah, they lead a conflicted life.
It's full of conflict and strife. So, how about those clocks? A lot of these games like to put clocks.
Yeah, as if this stage wasn't Castlevania enough already, there's a clock tower stage. But, unlike Castlevania, it's very possible to climb all the way up and then fall all the way back to the bottom, which is, just about the best experience, I would say.
I would say that would probably be really annoying, and it could get really frustrating if you were terrible at platform games.
You don't have to be terrible to mess up on those.
Well, that just goes with good gameplay and game design.
It does.
So tell me how you really feel about this game, Greg.
I think we already know that I don't approve of this game.
This game gets no approval from Greg. None.
It's the, well, no, I wouldn't go so far as to give it the seal of approval. That's a little much.
Well, I mean, it's just not quite epic enough.
That's why they made Epic Mickey, I guess.
That makes sense to me. They needed that Mickey game that was just epic. However, I don't think that really worked out too well for them.
Maybe they should have used the Unreal Engine.
They should have, because everybody else does. I mean, they should definitely go with the status quo.
That's the engine from Epic Games, right?
Yes.
Okay, I did the pun right.
You did. I just no-sold it. But yeah, this stage also is kind of reminiscent of Super Mario Land 2 for the 6 golden coins from back in the day on the Game Boy.
Oh, the stage where you explore like Mario's innards.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You're exploring Mario. At least it's the robot Mario. So
it's kind of a psychological exploration when you think about it, going inside of yourself.
Yeah, that I never thought about it like that, but yeah, he has to get through the inside. So who's this giant guy? I've never seen him in any Disney thing, at least starring Mickey.
As a wise man once pointed out, he's a big guy. They probably could have just replaced him with Pete, and like he's at the end of the game, so that would feel appropriate. Yeah,
I agree. He should be Goofy's longtime nemesis, Pete, because it feels like he's just some giant guy swinging something. I don't even know what he's swinging. What's he swinging there?
That is like a legitimate weapon, but I don't know the name for it because my medieval weaponry vocabulary
is it
is
like
not
a flail or a morning star, maybe?
Yeah, I think that is what it's supposed to be.
That makes sense.
And I believe this boss marks the first time you have to, like, that I didn't initially know what to do. It's not really clear that you can't jump on his head when his hand is behind it. You have to wait for his hand to, like, swing. And he'll always grimace right before he swings, so that's when you jump.
So they try to go with the visual cues, but sometimes those don't really work out. But it seems like that was very common in older games. And then people complain a lot about newer games trying to handhold them too much and telling them how to do everything. So it's kind of about finding that balance, I think.
Yeah, I think a large part of it is finding a way to communicate indirectly, or at least not by words. Like, here, it's not communicating because it's not telling me that his head is protected, but it also wouldn't be cool if it was just text telling me that. Ideally, you would have some way of telling just by looking at him. Anyway,
That's
we've
true. But we've gone on to Miserable, who seems very miserable.
yeah, I mean, maybe that's why she kidnapped Minnie.
She wants to kidnap Mickey, I'm sure. That's why, yeah. She was just luring in Mickey with Minnie. That way she could have Mickey all to herself.
Yeah.
It'd be a dungeon situation, which is kind of weird for Disney, or maybe not so weird for Disney, if you believe some of the other Disney stuff. But, I mean, what's she got going on here? These ghosts look straight out of Count Chocula. Like, they look like you can totally go eat them for some marshmallowy goodness.
Well, honestly, think about it. You're an evil witch. You got this pretty cool castle. There's a constant storm in the background. What are you gonna be eating for breakfast? Are you gonna be eating, like, Chex? Or are you gonna be eating Count Chocula?
I'm thinking Count Chocula, and this was totally in-game marketing, I think, for back in the day. Because they were like, hey kids, you know, when you're done being miserable, then you can go eat.
Yeah, that's I'd say that counts as indirect communication, because they don't tell you it's Count Chocula.
I think that's exactly what it was, and nobody could tell me differently.
This boss is pretty hard, because, so, Miserable starts off being protected by her barrier of ghosts, and then when she shoots it off, you have, like, a tiny, like, 2-second barrier, or 2-second window of getting to hit her. And she's so tall, it's hard to do that. So I find the strategy I had the most success with was sitting on her ghosts and waiting for them to disperse and trying not to get caught on the ghost that went up.
Yeah, it seems like it wasn't very clear, because I had no idea what was going on there, to be completely honest, until you started jumping on her head. So, it seems like they need to just, these bosses, like, if they really want to be effective, they just need some helmets.
Well, I mean, Miserabelle's got that headdress. You think sitting on that would be pretty painful. It's all pointy.
You would think. But maybe it's just made out of, like, rubber, or not even rubber. Rubber might hurt too, but it's inflatable. It's an inflatable thing. To help with her swimming. It's her floaty.
That wouldn't help with your swimming at all.
Don't tell her that. Maybe that's why she's miserable. Because she can't swim. And that doesn't help either.
Well, I guess that would make sense. Minnie is inside of a bubble. Or she was.
Yeah. Yeah, she was like a bubble boy, you know. She plays the part better than Jake Gyllenhaal, so. Also a Sega game, so it ties in. It totally ties in.
That's, okay. That seems valid to me.
Yeah. So it looks like some of these game designers just have a single name. Like, what's up with that?
That's kind of annoying with these older games. I've heard conflicting stories where, like, sometimes game designers didn't want to be known, so they wouldn't put their full name, or other times, game companies wouldn't let them put their full name in. Neither one totally makes sense to me, and I've never heard any explanation confirmed.
Well, I know in Japan a lot of times a lot of people don't like to take credit for things. They're very humble. So that's probably part of it, but part of it's probably the corporations not wanting to give them credit or not wanting to give them notoriety, I guess. Might be part of it, so. Both is probably true.
Actually, I think I read, so, the Atari 2600 game Adventure, there's an Easter egg where you can find the designer for the game. And I think I read
the very first Easter egg.
Yeah. I think I read that he, like, that studio didn't want him to get notoriety so that they didn't lose him to a competing studio.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of makes sense. It's interesting. Like, it's weird how much the games industry has evolved. Because now you know people like Cliffy B by name, but he doesn't let you forget it either. So
Yeah, game designers are have a certain amount of celebrity to them now.
Yeah, it's definitely true. But it looks like we're at the end. This is the end of Castle of Illusion.
Well, thank you for joining me on this quest, Trevor. I would like to thank my family, and my dog.
The Academy. Don't forget them.
Oh, the Academy. Thank you. I totally forgot about the Academy.
Love the Academy. Thank you very much, Academy. Sega!
Thank you.